Another new winner on the PGA show. We're back from vacation, got some new equipment to talk about, and we've got a bunch of builds coming up. All that on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats. And that's what we started doing, was talking about what was in the drawers in the shop. And it became a round-the-world discussion about golf equipment in repairs, fittings, opinions, reviews, you name it, we talk it. And it's been a very, very good thing so far. So we're going to keep the tradition rolling. So this time around, we are going to go with the PGA thing because it was kind of neat. So Sepp Straka, the first Austrian to win on the PGA Tour, showed up at -10, shooting a -4, beating Shane Lowry, who apparently had a very large lead. I didn't watch any of the thing. Shot a -3 and came out at -9. So somewhere along that lines, that doesn't jive with what the folks are telling me. There must have been somebody else up there that had a big lead. And anyway, and then Katayama came in third. So that was pretty cool. And then what we saw was on the senior tour, Miguel Jimenez, he won at -18 total for a -7 round, just in front of Bernard Longer, who was shot the same score, only a stroke less total. So not too bad. All right. So back from vacation, man, oh man, good times. Mrs. McGolf said she enjoyed herself. I believe her. She hobbled around with the broken foot like a trooper. Good for her. We discovered a new drink called a Bushwhacker. So for those of you who don't know what a Bushwhacker is, it is a series of different rums mixed together and mixed with a milkshake kind of concoction. So think of it a milkshake with a kick. And that's what they are. Apparently they are famously popular in the Gulf Shores, Floribama area. And the gals indeed took liberties with it. So not too bad. It was all pretty good. So I know I showed you this once before, but I was just impressed with the way that that was from a cell phone. So not too bad with the colors. And then this one was at night. It looks kind of funny, almost like a painting. So around the world, and then when we got back, Mrs. Aaron's like, "What have you been doing?" So, let's see. Let's give you some golf course pictures. Number one, the Eagle. So Charlie, there you go, buddy. The United States Navy one worked, so that wasn't too bad. Here's some more. That was looking backwards. Let's see what else we got here. That was looking forwards. There's a good look. There was a challenging hole. Yeah, and that's all over water. That's a par 3. We did find out that the par 3s in Gulf Shores do not mean short yardage. You better bring your 150 or better sticks. There's Kiva Dunes. I believe that's Lost Keys. And this was the last day when we left. I just couldn't believe everything that was going on with all the different lights. This is Lost Keys. I know that one. I'm not even sure what that is. Oh, and one more. And there we go. So you notice a lot of sand. So there's a lot of sand, obviously, because we're right there on the beach. So we hit Kiva Dunes, Peninsula, the Craft Farms, both courses. There was that one, Lost Keys, and Perdido Bay. And I think we got them all. That should have been all of them. Now, there are more down there for sure. None of them were particularly bad, I would say. Every one of them was in a dormant phase where some of the green was still growing in. The greens were all still green, but you could tell some of them were pretty dormant, but they still rolled very well. But all the rough area and everything else was still brown, still very dormant. And then some cases you could tell that the heat was starting to come on them and they were going to start showing up. But probably about 2 weeks, it'll be something else to be down there. The weather will be just right, and the green, everything will be green. So what did we decide on? Bob and I talked about this one, and what we came away with was we liked Kiva Dunes the best. And just so happens that's where I got my Eagles. So yeah, I'm with that one. The Kiva Dunes, I think, was a little bit better prepared. The course wasn't exactly generous, but it wasn't tight either. So it was very, very nice. There was enough undulation and enough stuff in the way, including alligators, that made it a bit of a challenge, but not so hard that you'd hate it. Now, the second what came in was Peninsula, and Peninsula was a close second. Now it's 3 9-holes, and we only got 2 of them done. So there's a trip back for us. Very, very fast greens, rolled very, very true. It was just, it was wet because it rained, and it was still a little bit dormant. I think that one will show its colors once it starts getting warmer. Craft Farms, it was a story of 2 different sides. And they tell you, if you look in there, if you do the research, there is one. They're both Arnold Palmer courses. One is a little more generous, more resort golf like, and not nearly as tricky. Where the other one is more players like, where you have to plan shots or risk reward type stuff. And it played true to that form. The Perdido Bay was probably the most generic of the clan. Very nice place. It's just laid out a little differently, I guess. People were nice. The folks we golfed with were nice. They were really cool. Some cool guys from Tennessee. Neat layout. I just think it was, we caught it, the whole course except for the green was a bit dormant, so that made it a bit challenging. Outside of that, I didn't see too much wrong with it. And then the last one that we played at was Lost Keys. Now, this around the locals, it's infamously called Lost Balls, because it is very, very tight. And the very first thing they tell you, it is target golf. And if the ball gets outside into the woods, leave it be, because you see the crocodiles, but you don't see the snakes. And so we left. We left them with, I left them with I left them with 4. So there you go. And it was all my fault. It wasn't that it was tricky and it bounced one way. It was just purely bad shots. But we could see, I bet Bob saw a dozen golf balls easily from the side. And as we were thinking about reaching in, he looks down and sees a snake right there on a leaf sunning itself. And I was, that's good enough for me. So we are done. Definitely worth a return trip. The food, that's always the next question. The food was very, very good. There was a place called the Sunliner Diner, I think the atmosphere was enough to bring you back. It was very good food too. And it was in a 50s style restaurant, from the music to the people to the way that you saw. It was very, very nice. There was Steamers, which was truly a seafood bar. Some pretty good stuff there. They had, I think we like the scallops there. Mikey's, which was a seafood bar, and they had some dip that was very, very good. And I had a sandwich. They had a burger there, an island burger that was just to die for. It was really good. There was another place called the Paradise Island, I think it was, or Island Green. It was where we stopped for lunch. It had a gumbo that was really good. And we stopped at a barbecue place that infamously got the world's most average barbecue while we were there. And so we'll just let it go at that. And the shrimp basket, which we went to one when we were in Florida before, and this one, there's 2 of them over out the Gulf Shores. The po' boy sandwich, definitely a must-have. So, and then we capped it off the last night with some calzones from Mama Letty's or something like that. That was very, very good too. So, all in all, a good trip. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and now we're back. And speaking of back, let me see, make sure I don't give you the wrong one. Yeah, speaking of back, we came back to over a dozen boxes waiting for us. Dad was packing them in on us, and after we cleared it away, we saw this. That was the first box. Big hump. Now, this is not a small box. This is, I'm going to say it's probably 3 foot by 4 foot. And then we open it up and it looks a little bit like that. And after we put them together, it looks a lot like that. So we've got the green one on the left and the white one on the right. And when you look at them on the inside, they look like that. My son has infamously, my son, I'm using that word a lot right now. My son has deemed them the 1970s villain chairs from all the space movies. So, yeah, and they sit well. I got mine sitting right there, and they will eventually make it into these Monday things as we talk about it. I've got to adjust some heights and things like that with it in order to make it a proper Mcgolf chair. So we did that. All right, so on to the more fun stuff now that I've talked to you. Mizuno has finally decided to bless me with some of the new drivers. This is the STZ. STZ. And there you go. So an adjustable driver. This one happens to be the 9.5. And I believe this will go 2 degrees each way, maybe. 1.5 degrees at a bare minimum. So you saw the bottom. So the thing that's different here than in the past is the weight, right? There's a weight for basically, they're going to say MOI, but it's also swing weighting. And then the wave technology that they've always had. There's a big piece of carbon that's been taken out and right in here so that it's a more of an MOI balance. So all that you see here comes down, comes up. That's all the metal. Everything else is carbon. And then you get the top of it. Very easy to, you can see my camera. Very easy to surround the ball, right, with all the paint. And then then their face. This is a beta tie face. Yep, beta tie. I just unwrapped this in plastic, so you and I are seeing it for the first time. So there's the STZ. The STX, on the other hand, looks like this. And you'll notice there is a significant difference in the look. Right? You got the weight is a little bit more towards the heel, right? More area here taken out and more here to give it more of that draw bias feel, right? Still got the wave technology, and you notice it doesn't go all the way up and down like it did on the previous models. So not too bad. I think the face is just slightly different. Let's pull up the other one. What do you guys think? I think there's just a little bit of difference there. Just a hair. I think one might be deeper than the other, but by millimeters. And then again, the face, right? Nice carbon face, and they've done a good job by painting that area so that it looks pretty good. So they look pretty good. So they're getting ready to get tested. I got and they're right-handed. There is a lefty in it, though. However, I have a guy coming down that he's done some videos with me before that will hit the ball just clean out of sight. So we're going to see whether or not these things do what they say they're supposed to. Now, in addition to that, I got something that looks really interesting. And the reason why I say interesting, because it's a shape that I like. But they got a new Mizuno STX hybrid. A hybrid. Now, what I like about this guy is the shape. All right, let's see if I can get that in there. Yeah. There you go. There's the shape. And it's very clean on the top. You can't, it's painted, so you can't, even if it is carbon, you have the wave technology, right? There appears to be not too much cut out of it, but it's a good look. And in this one, as a demo, it comes with an Aldila, what is this thing? An Aldila Ascent. And this one is a lightweight club. So this will generate some swing speed. That'll be pretty nice. And the hits just keep on coming, guys. So hold on. We got a 3-wood. Now, the 3-wood from the last time was extraordinarily hot. I foresee this being the exact same way. Again, with the wave technology, you see there's a lot of, it's an indentation right up here. but it seems to be, if I didn't know better, I would say yeah, there's a little bit of, this is removed so you get a little bit more weight to turn it over a little bit. This one has some accented paint. See the silver? So it surrounds the club a little bit better. And this one's coming with a Tensai blue and a 75 gram. So it's for that there's so many shafts to choose from. That's just the demo model. And the last one that came in that was kind of intriguing is a new high fly. Let's see if I can make this happen. A new high fly, and of course it's Mizuno Pro. All right. See if I can. There we go. Mizuno Pro. It's a hollow body. And it's got a wider sole on the bottom. It's a 3-iron. Basically, it's a 3-iron high fly, an iron hybrid. And it comes with the RDX Smoke Black. So you're going to have to swing it. So there's those. I still don't have the Iomi or the Iomi putters yet, but they're coming in. They're coming in. So if you guys don't know, the Mizuno website got hacked about 3 weeks ago, and they've been doing everything they can to get around it, and they've since recovered. And that's when all this stuff started showing up. So we're doing pretty good. We've got all our Odyssey putters. We've got the Toulon stuff still coming in. We've got the Callaway stuff is in, and we're starting the testing on that. And I will say, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that this Rogue ST is a real deal. I got the LS model, and I put in that graphite design just because Alvin said it would work, and I took it out there because I hit a high ball, and this whole time I'm down there, and the last time I took it out, the ball did not get very high. Now I could probably crank it up a degree, but it was hitting very, very, very well. Misses weren't gross. But I just hit it pretty good actually. So in my winter workout kind of thing that's been going on, I've been striving for the 280 mark, if not a little bit more, and hitting one of those Wilson triads. I did it, so I got it out there. So it is possible, and they did really well. Now Bob, we put him into an LS2 because he was spinning the ball, and we put him into a Tensai shaft, and it was funny. He just couldn't believe how well he was hitting it without having to swing hard. Okay, it was just he was getting it out there, and he was poking it pretty good. And all the clubs, all the Rogue, he was almost Rogue head to toe, and just punching it out there, just swinging it right real easy and making good contact. So for anybody that might have a doubt about it, I can tell you right now that the drivers are real deal. They're all good within a certain percentage of each other anyway. But it'll be a battle. Everybody's looking at the stealth. Okay, looking at the stealth, and because it came out first, you're going to see the Rogue is going to perform well, and I totally believe that the Mizunos are going to happen, and we Strixon's going to it's on its second year, so they're not going to do a lot of new competition kind of stuff yet. And Wilson is coming out. Their stuff is they're doing the launch pad. So the slice correcting, want to get it out there kind of golf club. That's what they're going to be launching soon. So there you go. Woo, that was a lot. So Jackie Satterley sent a question in. What driver shaft more closely replicates the older Aldila Voodoo in profile and stiffness? Ooh, the Aldila Voodoo. Okay, the Aldila Voodoo was actually a very brutish kind of shaft, right? It was, it had that, a lot of the circles that went around it, right? And it was very, very, you had to swing it in order to make it go. So I'm trying to, I'll be here with you in a moment. if you're graphite design, we'll start with them. Graphite design and probably the orange, right? The what are we calling that? The Tour AD. Yeah, I think the orange one would be closer to that one. In the let's go down the model lines. In the RDX line, probably they have a red. That's their. They have a blue, a red, and a black, and I think the red is the softest of the three, and that's probably the better one in the RDX line. Acra has one, and I would recommend the green. The green is very well made. It's the Green FX, sorry, Green FX 3.0. Certainly there. And last but not least is um, the KBS, the TD, KBS TD. Now, those are some pretty, there's some high end type shafts, but so was the Voodoo when it came out, right? The Voodoo was not to be messed with, and it took a guy to bring it around. It took a strong swing to bring it around. And that's what these other ones are as well. So that's where I would go with that. All right, before we go to the rest of the comments, let's do this. Like, subscribe, if you would. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe this thing. Hit that bell down there so you get more of the videos, right? That's not just live streams. We got a whole slew of videos if you want to talk about or see about golf club repair, golf club reviews, that kind of stuff. To the point, I do have one that's coming out tomorrow. It's a Boxes to Builds volume number 7, and it's for Canada. And it's a good one. We talk about reaming clubs and frequency matching. So it's certainly worth a watch. And shortly thereafter, I'll have a workout video, as far not me working out, but results, catching you up to current date before we go into the last third of this. Okay. And we're going to get to that. So if you would, like and subscribe. All right. So here we go. Matt. At the daughter's basketball game, so we'll miss the live stream. Hopefully get around this week. Question, okay. What expectations do you have for your first rounds of the year? Cheers. Well, Matt, since I already just came away from my first rounds of the year. Here, let me turn this down just a tiny bit. There we go. I got a new hat too. When I go on the first rounds of the year, really what I'm looking for is solid contact. That's my expectation. Solid contact, and with because we have been swinging, I want to see my distances perform the way that I wanted them to see them perform. Now it's kind of funny, and Bob can attest that my weakness is the short stick, is the putter. And the first 3 or 4 rounds we were putting, dude, I was lights out. I saved a lot of pars. I even got a handful of birdies using the putter. And it was just putting just straight on. It was doing what it was supposed to. So an improvement in putting. Those are what my expectations were. And of course, trying to score low. My whole deal was if I didn't get a 90, I would have been happy. And as the funny part was, I didn't score a 90 until the very last round. So I was always into the 80s. All righty. Manuel, what do you say, sir? Hope your vacation was wonderful. It was, thank you. And your game was great. Well, I'll say it was good. We'll go that way. My next build is a 4-iron. My pro wants graphite design shafts in his 2 and 3 irons. Should I go with driving iron or hybrid shafts? I would go with driving iron. All right, driving iron, especially in 2 and 3 irons. That's a no-brainer. I would go with the driving iron. The most popular one was the one I was just talking to you about. Is that Tour AD? I think they call them ADs. You got to forgive me on this one. I'm still learning their codes because they got little labels for each one, like UB and XC and all these other things. But yeah, that one would be the way to go. All right, just reshafted his 4 through 9 with steel fiber I-95s. Then certainly the 95s, although it's a 95 gram shaft, but those things are stout. So yeah, I would stay with the driving iron. That's about right, buddy. All right, Imbaga Jim, do you think it's worth cutting down a wedge shaft a 1/4 of inch to normal playing length if they came slightly long? Probably would change the swing weight by 1.5 points. How hard is it to make a 1/4 of an inch cut? All right, so let's cut this down. Do I think cutting down the normal playing length, is it worth it? No. From a wedge shaft, if it's a quarter of an inch, basically it's that butt cap. So, and if you look, and I'll give you an example here. This is this is a grip, and you see that it's probably this piece here is what's giving you the difference in the distance. So it was cut to the normal length. Now the real problem here is if you go and get yourself a different grip, you can have a much larger butt cap. All right, you see that versus that. See how they're different? So they're different widths. So if you're chasing that, you will always be chasing that. So the answer to that is no. But if the thing is, if it freaks you out and you're always going to use those grips, then yeah, go ahead. All right. Probably would change the swing width. Actually, a quarter of an inch, probably not even a swing, maybe a swing weight point. By all measures, probably one or less. You probably wouldn't even notice it. And how hard is it to make a cut? With my gear, it's easy peasy because I have a 1/8 blade. If you're using a tubing cutter, actually it's not that hard either, except for the side, because the cutter uses two rollers as it grabs, and what'll happen is you might fall off, and then that could cause you problems. So I would try and use a saw of sorts, and if you're doing it by hand, yeah, it can get a little messy, so I'd be careful. Mike from Buffalo, have you heard of direct-to-consumer company Sticks? Have you any thought on such companies? Well, I have not heard of Sticks, but I do know direct consumer. So I do know of Tacoma because we did a review. Well, we did a boxes to build, and I actually hit them. The hollow body, they're 101s. It is now Eric's company. Jiminy Christmas. Gee, New Level. New Level, Eric went direct to consumer, and I know those irons are very nice, and he's coming out with a driver fairly soon and a hybrid. So he is having a whale of success with direct to consumer stuff. Below 70 is another one, and the last one that I'm aware of is Ben Hogan, right? Or Hogan. Hogan stuff is direct to consumers as well. Now, those are dicey propositions. Are they bad clubs? Well, there's never a bad club unless it's ill-fitted or poorly made. Of those 4, I would be, I hear a lot of good stuff about sub 70. The Hogan stuff better be good, or Hogan's going to roll over in his grave. I know the New Level stuff is pretty good, just knowing Eric. And Tacoma, I would say, was pretty good as well. Is it going to be a world beater? No, but if you're interested in price points and getting something out there to play, then yeah, it's perfect. But you can get that. Now the trick there is knowing what you need in order to tell them what you want. And Eric is like that, and they give you you can tell them length, lie, grips, set makeups, that kind of stuff. And if you know what you want, you can actually do pretty good. Danny, what do you say? I currently use a Stroke Lab number 7 with the black shaft. I notice some of the new models have a red shaft. Is there any difference beside the color? No. Not that I'm aware of. Nobody said anything to me. In fact, they also the Toulons come in a dark green. It almost looks black. So and they're all pretty much the same. They just changed it. And there's a gray one out there now too. And they're all pretty much about the same. There we go. What do you say? I picked up a powder-coated Project X LZ 6.5 today. They're about 3.7 grams heavier average and a bit stiffer. Can't wait to get the heads back to assemble. Well, there you go. Hello, Darren. How are you? Brendan, what do you say, buddy? My Epic Flash is 1 inch shorter than standard at 44.5. What length of a 3/4 wood would you recommend? Tried one today at 43 and it felt far too long for a 5'7" guy. Honestly, Brendan, I'd probably just go about a half of an inch. I wouldn't go too crazy short on it. So the reason why I don't get real crazy about length on this one is because when the woods were made, the 7, the 5, the 3, and the driver, they were all within an inch of each other or half an inch of each other, right? So the driver really was at 43, 44, and then the 3 wood was at 43, 42, 42, 41, 41, 40. You see how that goes. And so the average length of a 3 wood was already 43 inches. They really haven't done a lot with it. And it seems that when they make them longer, people struggle. And so, yeah, for going a little bit shorter, I would only go to about 42.5. And that's raw length. And then try that. So I would choke down about 3/4 of an inch on this thing and see what it does for you. Hello, David Rogers. Charlie, thank you. The golf balls work good. There's the sis. What do you say, kiddo? And Robin's down here. There you go. Darren, if building a set of spinner wedges using the frequency number on the 8-iron parallel flex, do you make each wedge the same flex or 8 CPMs iron on the slope from 8 to pitching wedge? Okay. So no, what's going to happen is if you're doing the spinner and you're doing it properly, you've gone and you've gotten the next weight class, next weight flex up, and you're trimming to an 8-iron. And that 8-iron will be more stiff than the normal 8-iron that's in your set. So it will be higher. So your slope will go this way, and it will jump up, and then it'll go, or vice versa. It'll go down, and then it'll jump up, and then keep going. So it will be just a tad more stiffer. It's the profile that's giving you that spinner like. All right. Ian Bygrave. What do you say, Ian? Hopefully I said it right, Bygrave. If you were to buy a new set of golf clubs, what make would you purchase? Yeah. All right. I'm not not to sound like a smartass here on this one, but I got asked that question while we were out golfing. What's the best clubs to buy? And I told them the ones that were fitted to you. Okay. And that's the truth. It's the ones that are fitted to you. Now, if you're talking about, so if you're talking about quality of manufacturer, they're all stand tall. I'm a Callaway guy through and through, from top to bottom. Mizuno makes an excellent iron. The drivers are coming around. TaylorMade makes good stuff. I'm not familiar with them because I don't do business with them. I only see what people bring in. And it seems to be pretty good stuff. We all know Titleist makes a very, very good iron, makes a very good driver. Same thing with Ping, right? Those things the irons are nearly indestructible. You get all the way through there. We're seeing an upheaval from Strixon. Does great in the driver or in the irons. The driver they're working on right now, and Wilson makes. I'm telling you, we leave those guys out, but they make an excellent iron. And again, and they don't like me saying it, but if your swing speed is not very fast, and we'll say sub 90, that the Wilson club becomes a player in contention against these other ones with all the tech in it. So it's really in that there's a lot to consider in that. Do you like the way the cosmetic appearance of it is always important, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't care what it looks like." Yeah, you care what it looks like, because if you put it in a bag and it looks like a brick on a stick and your buddies are making fun of you, you're going back to eBay or looking online to see what the next set of clubs you can go buy. So you like the look of it. And then it has to have characteristics. It doesn't have to be a specific brand. Do you need a lot of offset? Do you need a wider sole or a thinner sole? Do you need it to be stronger or weaker in order to get those distances that you like? These are all considerations that need to be made, and that's just in the head. Then you have shaft, flex, weights, profiles, grips, sizes, and all these things go together in order to make a good golf club. Now, all that said, you can't ever go wrong with the top end guys, right? Number one for me would be Callaway. Number two, if it depended on what I was looking for. If I was looking to go to a manufacturer just to get a whole set of golf clubs, right, whole set top to bottom, and I wasn't going to look, I think my number two set might be Ping, right? They're pretty reliable club all the way from top to bottom. Then it would be a tie between TaylorMade and Titleist. Those would be the two number threes. And then after that, it would be Mizuno and Wilson would be the next tie, and that's how I would go with it. Past my prime, what's up? Duke, PA slowly warming up. I'm going to go through physical therapy. Dude, what for? Frequency slop, yeah. Sometimes that's what it is, man. David, hope Roman's foot's okay. Yeah, we just she's going to go visit the doctor to make sure she's going to be able to go under the knife, and we got the prelim on the bill. Foots are expensive, but worth it. How are exercises going? Not seeing any of the vids. Yeah. So, David, here's the thing. Since the PGA show at the end of January, it's been nothing but chaos here. Got back, and I don't think I've ever been that kind of tired. But we had to get the workout, so I got the work done, and I just didn't have enough gumption to do a lot of the exercises. So I just kept doing the mobilities, which are the where you stretch and you lay on the floor, and it's about 5 or 6 exercises just to keep the muscles loose. And I paid for it, and you'll see that in the workout video. I paid for it. My swing speed went down. My quality of hit stayed the same, but the swing speed went down. So then I gradually started putting it back on, and swing speed comes back up. Then I go on vacation. Well, now we're on vacation again, and I was doing the daily mobilities out on the patio, and they were making the rest of the folks were making fun of me, David. They like I was doing some kind of karate move out there or just showing off or whatever. But I was doing the daily mobilities, and then we were going golfing. And I came back 2 days later. I went and I did my testing after I did a workout, and I got almost all my swing speed back to the point I finally hit my goal with my irons, of my distance goal with my irons. And it was because of swing speed, not because of quality of hit. My driver is still lacking. I think I was just tired. I ran out of gas. So it is working. I am definitely on board with this. All right. Severe shoulder and bicep pain. Oh, yeah. Go to therapy first, bub. Look at all the sun. Does everybody back? No, they don't. If you see look at that. Yeah. So it was funny. I never thought you could get a driver's suntan driving a golf cart around, but you can't see here. I wish you could see it, but it was really, really dark in comparison. That was kind of funny there too. Okay, Darren, are spinner wedges as good around the greens as normal wedge flex, or better for approaches? Is there a trade-off anywhere, or is it a better build in general? Darren, I think overall it's not bad. What it produces is what you're going to see is it produces a slightly higher ball flight with a tad more spin. The idea is that the shaft is kicking into it a little bit more, and you're getting more of that, right? You're getting more of this into it. Now, these were put out before wedge shafts were wedge shafts. Okay, that's the thing that I think we lose in transition, is that spinners were spinners because there were no wedge shafts. You had, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wedge shaft, and that was mostly for the pitching wedge, and that was what you were relegated to in wedges. And then out comes this spinner shaft for these wedges, and the performance went up. Shortly thereafter, here comes specifically designed wedge shafts to give you some of that difference. Specifically KBS, right? KBS has got the high rev, and then they got the 610. The 610 is just ever so slightly different than the high rev. The idea is hit the ball high, land it soft. And he should know, he was the one that came up with the spinner. And he said that was what the design was. So a lot of people have copied that. So a regular wedge shaft, I'd like to do a test. I think we might do that. You know, they're talking about, oh, it's all that in a bag of chips. And it is a very nice shaft. But is it any better than a specific wedge shaft that you could buy? That's a test. That's a test. Maybe we'll do that. Have to do that when we can go outdoors. All right, see more reps. On vacation in Florida from Ohio, I played my best game ever. Hey, we were there. I broke 100, finally shot a true 98 at Twin Isles Golf Club in Punta Gorda, Florida. Nice. Well done, buddy. Good job. Tell me here at least one ball. The bunch was yeah. Well, one was, partner. And as the story goes, Bob was with me. We're a little over 150 out, and it was on a par 4, and I hit the club, and I hit it really good. It's going at the stick, and I thought I flew the green. Well, just about the time this ball's coming down, the guys that were in front of us had stopped. The restrooms were over to the side, and we thought they were gone. And apparently there was a hidden area, and this guy pops up out of there like a jack-in-a-box, and he gives me one of these. And from a distance, I thought, oh my God, I landed one really close to him, and he was mad. So we get him around there, and we're looking for the golf ball. He comes back, and he goes, "It's in the hole. It was a great shot." And I thought, oh my God, I thought you were yelling at me because you were mad. He says, "Oh no, I was trying to tell you it was a great shot." So it's amazing how you can interpret things. So it worked out pretty good. He says, "One hop into the hole, just like I was supposed to." All right. There's Miss McGolf saying she's got surgery scheduled. No, you're not reconsidering because of the price. The 70s tomorrow will be hitting a little white ball. Good for you, Jerry. That's what I tell her. I called her a teenager. All right, Golf Pride Tour Velvet MCC4 non-taperish grip. Is this much larger than a standard golf grip or under between size, mid-size versus size 1 wrap? All right, Darren, so on the backhand, it's the same. It's the on the hand, let's do it like this. So if we were to grip it, this hand, I'm going to take you off here. All right, so this hand would be the same. It's this hand that it's bigger. So what it is, on this area, they've built it up. The MCC4, they say, is to simulate 4 wraps of tape underneath of it. I don't necessarily know about that, but it's less taper. I tend to like them. A lot of people tend to like them. And the reason why they went that way, Darren, is because they were finding out that the tour was building up that bottom hand already. So they were just giving them what they were doing without all the hassle. There you go, Jack. Yep, we got it. So I added 2 grams. That's how I got it. It was really, really close. So that's all I did was add a 2 grammer. There you go. He is back. There you go. Love my Nippons. I know you suggested Acro 95s. So does the 90 compare to the TI 100 TI mesh? Hope we can find a shaft with a similar bend profile. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is very close. The weight, actually, the constant weight will feel better. The tour 100 with the mesh on it is incredibly stiff at the bottom. And I know you talked about hitting something high, but this one will be a little bit better to be sure. I just like, if you like the 95s, I like to stay in the weight category. And I know 100's not too far off, but the numbers are really, 100 may not necessarily mean 100 grams. And the TI will be extraordinarily stiff. And you don't, even if I was to soft step them, it still wouldn't be enough where you can in the constant weight one. Get the surgery ASAP or get in my knees. I'm glad it's done. Tell Jim I said hi. There you go, Paul. You guys tell her. Of course, listening to me, that's a whole different thing. All right, Michael Barber, good evening from Derby in the UK. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for staying up that late. I know that's a heck of a deal. Darren, is it possible to add flex with a butt extension? How many CPMs would I add, say, an inch and a half, if this actually works? It does not. All right, so that's, again, in the flex category, I would show you. So here we go. See it, blank piece of paper. All right, so we get a line. Now, I'm drawing backwards, so give me a break. Here's one line, and there's another line. Oh, great. All right, these are the charts that we work from. So length, frequency, right? This is a line of flex. Whoop. This is a line of flex right here. A line of flex. And what that is like, so if you were here at a certain length, and then you were here at a certain CPM, if you come, and what happens is that you go and you come across and you come across, and that's where you find your flex on that diagonal line. Now, if I make it, let's just say I go like this and I make it longer, and I have it, and it gives me the same frequency or even less. Now all of a sudden I'm on something that's less. All right, because as you make it longer, the CPMs will actually go down. All right, the longer it is, the longer it takes to twang to give you the same flex. So if it frequency's at the same, it's going to be less. So adding does not add. It actually takes it away. I hope that makes a lot of sense. James, you're in Bristol and it's raining again. Ugh. Well, hopefully we can get you dried out. Sunny V, what's up? 1 month till departure for Myrtle Beach. 12 guys on a buddy trip, mostly retired military guys. Oorah. Thank you very much. Working on the short game. And you're right. That's probably the best thing to do for down there. Hopefully in 12 days, Sunny V, that the world gets their head out of their proverbial backside and we can at least get to some vestige of normal. We're going to see. Russell Sheward, what do you say, buddy? Want to say fine if I got a chance to try the Tacoma irons. Nice, good ball flight, great looking. Thanks, do a fine job putting there. Oh, there you go, buddy. Glad you like them. We were just talking about them too. Jack Keen, just taking a break from the project. We'll go back to it in a bit. Hopefully I found the problem. Okay. Hit the like button. It should get a lot more likes. I thank you very much for that. Mike Engel, where can I buy some of those Mcgolf hats? We actually have some. We just got some in the. We have some small, mediums, some medium larges, and some extra larges. The color availability may be limited. I think we're down to black, maybe a few grays and some reds. But send a note to Mrs. Mcgolf, and she'll tell you what we have and work out the deal. James, what do you say, sir? Can you oil drench forged clubs? I've gotten a very beat up set of Apex Pro irons, and taking the dings out of them will probably remove the rust and most of the chrome. Deburring wheel, sand, or polish. Deburring wheel or sand and polish. I think so, James. I've not done oil quenching, so to speak. But if I was to do it, it would have to be on a naked club, because I don't think that you're going to get through the finished product, the finishes that are already on it. And if you got a dinged up set of Apex Pros, which is actually pretty easy to maneuver around, I would start off with a sander first to just knock out the hard stuff the big stuff first. Take out the big dings first, and then what I would do is then I would take a buffing wheel or a nylon wheel, kind of like a greenie, so to speak, on a wheel. I use a red wavy wheel, and then that will smooth it out into a more of a satiny finish. And if you're good with that, then that's fine. If you want it more of a shiny, oily can thing, then you have to go to a polish, which is a much harder, like a sisal wheel and maybe a black rouge, and just lay into it until it gets really hot and shiny, and then wipe all that down, and then you're back into the dunk it in the oil or hit it with a lot of heat, and then dunk it. So a lot of work, but it could turn out to be very, very cool. They will come out a little bit lighter because you've removed some of the protective coating, but I don't think so much that it would be noticeable. Okay, David, first time here and experience with boxes to builds with single length pinhock iron products. I've done plenty of single lengths, but never pinhock. Pinhock, honestly, I never want to put a club company down, but pinhock is second tier or third tier at best, based on what I've seen in the past. Now, you might get a diamond in the rough, and they all work just wonderfully, and that's the reason why I just don't like putting a club company down. But from what I've seen from qualities and things like that, and I have seen some sets, they're not a top tier company. Let's put it that way, at least in my opinion. Bob's watching us. Michael Barber, just wondering if Ping and Titleist will go down the carbon crown road, and the drivers, what are your thoughts? Well, I think Titleist already has. And I am sure as soon as Ping decides that it's very cool to do, and although I wouldn't be so shocked if those ones with the wings, with the fins on them in the front, aren't part of that and they're just painted. So a lot of times when you see the carbon on it, they leave it like that to give it a cool factor, because that looks really, really cool, right? Well, some people don't like that, and apparently Titleist has gone down that road. So I'd have to see them taken apart, but I'm pretty sure that they're doing it as well. There's Krister from Sweden. I saw some of your stats there, partner, hitting that little bitty driver. Good job. And the antibiotics work. Good for you. I saw you bought that Wilson putter too. That is like an old 8802. Yeah, that could have a lot of things. A burner super steel 5'8" degrees orange crown with a bubble shaft. Oh my goodness, buddy. I would, from the way that you're swinging, that bubble shaft actually might work. The reason why it wasn't liked very well is because it was so stiff. Ron, what do you say, sir? It's been a while. Any word on the Wilson 9 forged yet? Did you see them? Are they big and clunky, or do they look like the CB? Ron, they're in between, right? We saw the D7 forged, right? They were kind of big on the bottom, but they had kind of a cool look, but a thicker top line. And then the CBs are their traditional players' cavity. Very nice club. I have seen them, and the sole is thinner than the 7, but it's still wider than the CB. So they've made some serious improvement on the sole. The top line looks a little nicer, and the cosmetics in the back are a little sharper as well. But we were just talking about that because they're due to be coming out any time. I'm kind of trying to get some in advance so I can release a video. All right, Alan Molitor, thinking about Apex DCBs, about changing my shafts. All right, about my Apex, about changing my shafts by using a 4-iron shaft and a 5 into the 6, so etc. Swing weight from D0 to D5. So I will change my grips to mid-size and align. Okay. So what you're doing is you're soft stepping, and that's what that's called, and you're soft stepping. And if you're not cutting them down, then yeah, you're going to add easily another 1/2 of an inch, which is going to be another at least another 3 swing weight points at a minimum. But then when you go to put on your mid-size MCC4 pluses, it'll bring them back down to something. So your swing weight may not be as heavy as you think, and all depending on the shaft as well. But it may not be that much. Now, it depends on how much swing weight you're really looking for. If you really want that high of a swing weight, that's quite a bit. However, in this whole thing that you're looking at, the most important thing is to get the length correct first, right? To have it longer just to make it heavier is going to cause you issues. You need to have the right length for your consistency and then build everything around to that. There we go. There's Bob. I will say that in the last 2 rounds, Bob cleaned my clock. Well, in the next to the last round, he absolutely spanked me. In the last one, I brought it to within 2 strokes, so not too bad. But he threw it out there pretty good. Okay. What's this one? Who's going to take care of Jim if he's taking care of me? Yeah, that could be a problem. But there you go. Look at this. They got Charlie's all out. There you go. That'll keep her in the chair. Libra 9, do you have any opinion on Vice golf balls? Have you ever played them? I've only played them when I found them. I've never been given any, nor have I ever bought any. I have come across a bunch of people that do like them. They play very well, and for the price versus performance, it's hard to beat them. Alan, what do you say? I have a 211 Tommy Armour Silver Scott blades. Ooh, maybe the best blades I've ever hit in his opinion. Okay. The problem is I would like to have them changed to 2 degrees stronger, but everyone here is afraid to do it. Why? 2 degrees stronger, we're going to make 2 assumptions, Alan. Number 1, that they've never been adjusted before, then it's not a problem. Number 2, even Tommy Armour, if you had a blade, I would imagine they're forged. And again, they could be moved more. The only other thing that would give guys a hesitation is if they're dipped in chrome. And when you bend chrome, you have a chance of spider webbing, and meaning that the chrome basically shatters a little bit and it spider webs, and that allows moisture to get into them. But 2 degrees is still within the range even of the chrome. I wouldn't go any more than that, but yeah, I don't see where that's a problem. There, I think I answered that one. What about the offset on the D7 forge versus DI9? Same, more or less. Charles, I think they're going to be anywhere from the same to less. Something that they are too soft. Well, if they're too soft, then that shouldn't be a problem. And if they're forged, then yeah, it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. All right, sliders 430. That wasn't hard to hit like it sure is. Yeah, I saw those numbers you were throwing out there, buddy. It was pretty impressive, I have to say. Eagle Revival. Oh, the Eagle Group. I tell you what, I don't know, to be honest. I've seen their heads on display, and that's about as much as I've seen about them. From what I've seen on some of them, they look pretty decent. A good component head, to be sure. Mrs. Mcgolf is going to be proud of us. We made it to the very end at 6:30. That's pretty good. We've missed a lot. Kent didn't make it on, so that's probably took a little bit out of it. So again, we're going to make it to 6:30. It'll be the first one in quite a while. We must be getting close to golf season. So guys, as we know, again, like and subscribe if you would. We got the video coming out tomorrow at 7 a.m. my time. take a look. It's going to be a really good, interesting build. I'd say take a look at it, and then we'll talk about the workouts, and the reviews are coming. I got a ton of reviews coming. When I do, they're going to come out just like a waterfall kind of thing. Again, the vacation Gulf Shores, I recommend it highly. The area is laid back, the food is good, and the golf is extraordinarily well done. Again, guys, as always, thank you so very much for coming and watching. I know it's late night for a lot of you guys. And basically, I appreciate the fact that you guys want to sit here and talk golf with me. And as always, let's see the scores go low.